Hello, my name is Matthew Hogan, and for my public lecture review, I watched the lecture from Dr. Sarah Seeger about life on Venus. So to begin, she introduced the idea that there might be life on Venus, not large fauna or even flora, but rather bacterial life living in the clouds of the atmosphere of Venus. One of the challenges posed by Venus and issues that make many doubt that it could sustain life of any kind is the harsh climate of the planet. The atmosphere is over 90% carbon dioxide, and the extreme temperatures of the planet, combined with the toxic sulfuric acid in its atmosphere, make it highly unlikely to be able to sustain life. Dr. Seeger hypothesizes that there might be life there anyway. Her basis for this hypothesis is the presence of phosphine gas in the atmosphere of Venus. On Earth, phosphine only occurs as a result of interaction with natural organisms. One she pointed out that was new to me and that I found to be particularly interesting was penguins, who excrete phosphine as a byproduct of digestion. She then goes on to discuss how Earth, with its disparate clouds, already has cloud-based bacterial life. She compares this to Venus and how it is equally likely, given the presence of phosphine, that bacterial life has also found its home among the clouds. I also did not know that there was bacterial life in our clouds, which was very interesting to me to learn, and funnily gave me new perspective on when I used to play in puddles of rain as a kid. She then went on to describe experiments that had traveled to Venus, particularly one launched by the Soviets, where they sent a probe down to the surface of Venus. Due to the planet's incredibly toxic environment, the probe only survived long enough to send signals back to Earth for a few hours. She brought up this anecdote to describe new experiments that were attempting to prove the existence of life on the planet. This new round of experiments that are attempting to prove this theory would travel to Venus, very briefly entering its atmosphere at a high point to point high-powered lights and lasers through the thick clouds, looking for luminescence as a sign of bacterial life. There were a few ideas and concepts that occurred to me that she did not discuss. One of these was, if we are sending probes high into the atmosphere of Venus, would it be possible, with the high sulfuric acid content of the planet and the likelihood of a return to Earth being slim, to scoop some samples of the clouds and return them to Earth for further testing of the existence of life, just in case the luminescence tests failed but were not conclusive as to the existence or not existence of life. Another thing that crossed my mind while listening to this lecture was, how would this life fare in Earth's heavily nitrogen-based atmosphere, and would that adaptability lead itself to potential uses in the field of terraforming? Should we be able to harness the ability to turn sulfuric acid into phosphine gas, would it then be possible to have it process into oxygen and other elements necessary for Earth-based survival? And how could that play into potential terraforming of Venus? Overall, this lecture was incredibly interesting and eye-opening to see the incredible nature of our solar system and how vast everything in it is. I applaud Dr. Seeger and her research, and I hope she continues and has success in finding these developments so that we can advance as a civilization and learn more about the universe that we live in. Thank you.